Yeah. And now we're on to Boris. Should we leave Boris till later? Or should we leave Boris? No, we'll talk about him.
Yeah, we can do
Boris
Boris now.
is the character that does not exist in Paragon. He was about to be released, but then they closed the game. Or they announced the game being shut down. And then he never got released. So, but he was in the assets. They had some animations for him. And yeah. So he is the only character in Fall at the moment that his whole kit is completely unique, completely created by Strange Matter Studios. And I don't know how to put this, but Boris was the worst character in the game in the Alpha 3 weekend. He is still probably the worst. Maybe Muriel might be the worst, but he's definitely in the top bottom two. At this point, I really think he just needs Jesus or something. Like, I don't know what the like. He just something's got to change because he will never be used at this rate. Like ever, ever. There's not like ever. Anywho, he's literally like the Iggy and Scorch of Fault at the moment. So, his passive. Boris has 4 canisters on his back, each demanding a specific task to be completed throughout the game to unlock a second variety of each of his abilities. Oh boy, this is going to be an in-depth one. You guys know what Boris currently does?
What does he currently do?
Hang on. Let's go on our trusty Fault Hub. So, what he currently does is he heals per basic attack, and he deals more damage per max health. He just swings at you. Boris leaps forward, dealing 2 basic attacks to all nearby units. So he kind of like swings left arm, swings right arm, hits you with the left hook and right hook. Applies on hit effects. This ability cannot crit. Boris is unstoppable. So it's kind of like his reach in. You know how like Grux has a way to get in, so does Crunch and all that stuff. They have a way to get closer to the enemy really fast. That's his RMB. Q, it's actually a passive. Senses all enemies below 50% health anywhere on the map. He sniffs. It's really. I have a meme that I'm not going to show on stream because it's not very professional. But I'll show you guys later because I just think it's awesome. Uh, Active. Sense the nearest enemy hero within 4,000 units. If successful, gain attack speed when marked target is in melee range, and gain movement speed when moving toward the target for 12 seconds. His passive. And he has another. So this is what I'm talking about. Like they made his kit like pretty good, and he still sucks. So I want you guys to like understand this. So his passive in his E. Units drop energy that Boris collects for his 4 canisters. Energies last on the ground for 30 seconds. Heroes, Raptors, and Prime grant 20 energy. Minions grant 2. Each canister can contain 25 energy cells. Active. Boris injects all full canisters. Canister 1 enhances bloodlust healing. Canister 2 enhances bloodlust damage. Canister 3 grants movement speed. Canister 4 grants abilities from canisters 1, 2, and 3 and unstoppable for for a certain amount of time. Total buff duration 10 seconds. So basically he uses the canisters and he gains bloodlust, so if he kills the enemy, he gains health. He gains bloodlust, so if he does more damage to the person that's marked, he gains movement speed, and canister 4 makes all of his canisters unstoppable. So, uh, and then his R. Boris selects an enemy hero and launches straight into the air, firing his rockets to come crashing down on the target, dealing a certain amount of damage, and executes a target within 10%, 15%, 20%, or less maximum health. So he basically flies up in the air like a rocket, charges down at you like a rocket, and may one shot you or may not. So that's his current thing, and he is awful. No offense to him, he's no good.
What about him just doesn't work? Do you think?
He does no damage, and
Yeah.
he's not tanky enough at all.
So they could just balance his kit with percentages, maybe, or
That's what I was thinking, but it doesn't seem to be that easy. Or maybe they just haven't. Maybe Strange Matter just hasn't balanced his numbers yet. Uh, But you can see like his kit, like they're really making it in depth. You know what I mean? Like they're giving him a lot, and he's just he's just never a better choice than other characters, ever. There's no reason to play him besides you want to play him. Objectively, there's no reason at the moment. Which is kind of unfortunate. Uh, so that's why Empty made this. So let's go back. So his passive. Instead of his E having the canisters, he has moved his E passive to the actual passive slot, saying he has 4 canisters on his back, each demanding a specific task to be completed. So canister 1, deal 10k damage to minions. Grant second ability to ability 1. Oh, okay. Canister 2, deals 7.5 damage to enemy heroes. Grant second ability to ability 2. Deal 5 damage to raptors. Ability 3. To enemy towers. Grant second. So basically, the canisters give every ability a second ability. That's kind of cool. And that would be like a tertiary objective. I really like the idea of him having a tertiary objective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Once Boris unlocks a second variety of one of his abilities will go on a loop. Example, he uses ability 1, which is the normal version. Then the next time he uses ability 1, it will be the unlocked version from his passive. And it repeats the progress. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so is what Empty's saying is it will go from version 1 to version 2 to version 1 to version 2? Is that what he's saying? Or it'll just go from version 1 and then version 2 and then just stay version 2? How do you guys read that?
Uh,
I think he means once it goes to version 2, it goes to version 2. Now that I
yeah.
reread it, that just makes the most sense. If Boris fills all his canisters by completing each of the above tasks, Boris reduces ability cooldowns on all abilities under cooldown which are of the opposing version. Oh no, he did mean it loops, so it's version 1, version 2, version 1, version 2. For example, Boris currently has ability 1, version 2. Ability 1 and 2 and 3 are on cooldown. He uses his ultimate, which is version 1, after using this ability. Boris reduced the cooldown of ability 1 and ability 2, which are the opposing versions, but not... Whoa. Which are the opposing versions, version 2, but not ability 3, which is the same version as the ultimate, but by 0.5 seconds each. So to try to make sense of what that said, he has a few abilities, and if they get a reduced cooldown, if he uses his ultimate, and he reduces the cooldowns of ability 1 and 2 because they're on version 2. But he doesn't reduce the cooldown of version 3 because it's currently on, of ability 3 because it's currently on version 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just rotating, cycling through.
Yeah. So, ability 1, version 1. Boris dashes forward 1,000 units, dealing physical damage while passing through enemy heroes and minions. Simple, it's just his little dash. It's pretty cool. It's a gap closer. Version 2. Boris jumps forward 1,500 units, dealing physical damage. This ability can't be targeted through walls. This ability grants him slight Z-axis movement. Okay. This ability
So
has
you
a...
could launch yourself up a little bit.
Yeah. No, but that's the Y-axis. No, Z-axis is... Yeah, you're right. Okay. This ability
Yeesh.
has a longer range with slightly more damage. Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah, I think his ability 1 is currently... what's the word I'm looking for? Not good enough. I don't know. It's just underwhelming. That's the word. Underwhelming at the moment. So with this version 2, it would make it better. And then ability 2. Version 1. Boris enrages himself, showing darkness in his eyes, granting him a cleave on autos and lifesteal for 66 seconds. And cleave means he attacks everyone around him. And lifesteal. Okay. Version 2, Boris exhausts his negative energy, which is obtained from the amount of enemy heroes or neutral slash enemy minions slash buffs slash subjectives apart from towers hit within the time frame from ability 2, version 1. Each successful auto attack grants 0.5% of his max HP as health regen for 5 seconds. Stacks to 20 and each stack lasts 20 seconds. So he gets more. So he gets health regen for each successful auto attack. And he exhausts his negative energy, which he gets from his ability 1. I think that's okay. To be honest, I think version 1 is just better than version 2. But, yeah. But I haven't read the whole thing, so we'll just keep going. At max stacks, Boris gains 10% of his max HP as health regen. That's pretty good. If Boris has no stacks, the ability is swapped back to ability 2, version 1. You will only have a limited time to use this ability version, as will always swap back to ability 2 version 1, while at the same time not forcing you to use this ability. If this ability is next up and there's no use for it, you can hold the ability key to swap to ability 2 version 1, but you can never swap back to ability 2 version 2. This helps in those scenarios where you can end up waiting a few extra seconds till you get the other version to use again. So what do you guys think of that?
I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
Um,
So he basically has health regen and more damage. He can choose between either or.
yeah.
Yeah. So then we got ability 3. So ability 3 version 1, Boris roars slash growls, slowing enemies in a 140-degree cone at maximum 1,200 units in front of him for 4 seconds. That's pretty cool. Each 0.8 seconds, he deals physical damage. Each 0.8 every time he roars, he slows enemies by this amount. Boris can auto attack while using this ability. Oh, so he can keep roaring and he just runs at you and slows you down.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. And he deals damage as well. Version 2, Boris smashes the ground in a 750 unit AoE around him, dealing physical damage while making the ground very unstable around him for a few seconds, disallowing heroes in the nearby AoE from using a movement ability. So disallowing means they can't move. So it's kind of like a root, sort of. Is that what it means? I do believe so. Uh, Smash the ground. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you got his growl, which he runs at you, and then he smashes the ground, dealing more damage. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Okay. And then we got his ultimate. Version 1, Boris throws forward up to 3 baby bears in a straight line up to 2,400 units. The baby bears stop at the first enemy hit, dealing physical damage. After hitting an enemy, they keep chasing the closest enemy, dealing physical damage by auto-attacking for 4 seconds. After the 4 seconds, they run tired and sit on the ground and then vanish slowly. Boris sitting emote. The first bear will have 3 hit points, which require the enemy team to auto-attack or use 3 abilities to kill the bear. Tick damage on abilities will count as more than 1 ability damage. The second bear will have 2 hit points, but deal 1.5, deal more damage on the first than the first bear. The third bear will have 1 hit point, but deal even more damage. So, could you imagine him just throwing on ability 2 version 3? Yes. Yes, I am on board. Sorry, guys. I was just looking at this. Or dashes or Kai jumps. Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Empti's ideas. Please follow him on Twitter at MTT. It's just empty with a T at the end. He's pretty fantastic. I'm pretty sure he was a pro in Paragon, but I'm just going to say he was, even if he wasn't. And he's a tester for Strange Matter Studios for full. I think it's really awesome. Could you imagine seeing this big broly bear that just comes over and throws 3 baby bears up at you and they run and chase you? And then and they get too tired, they sit on the ground. I think that would be a meme. Like I would make that a meme, and I don't know. I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I could see that being a bit comedic. Okay,
Yeah.
so version 2. Boris baby bears become enraged, becoming twice as fast movement and attack speed wise, with excuse me, sorry about that. with twice the hits, with twice the hit points, but have the same damage output. I'm just gonna have some water. Okay, I like that. So version 2 becomes enraged. And his baby bears become a bit better. So the first baby bear grants Boris 1% movement speed increase per successful auto attack. The second baby bear grants Boris 1% auto attack speed increase per successful auto attack. The third bear grants Boris 1% life steal per successful auto attack. So just to ask you, Empty, are these permanent buffs? Or are these like only for the duration of the ult? And there's a character in Smite that throws out a dog, and it does the same thing as the bears do, just for the duration of the ult. Okay, yeah. The bears pass through minions, dealing damage. The bears cannot take damage when rolling towards the enemy. The bears can block enemy movement. Oh, let me bring this up so you guys can see it. The bears can block enemy movement. The bears show a different glow on their claws depending what buff they grant to Boris. The bears will die instantly if hit by a tower. Can only take one tower shot each. The bears will attack towers if the tower is closer than an enemy hero. If the bear doesn't find anything to attack, it will go through the Boris sitting emote, then slowly vanish away. Okay. The bears will act like minions, therefore towers will attack them before enemy heroes. Each baby bear shows its points for enemies and allies. I actually really like the baby bear idea. In fact, I think that's awesome. I wish I could see what the Boris animations are, because I don't know what the assets are, because no one knows about Boris. So what I'm assuming is all the Strange Matter has is those animations that they were given. But I do know that they did create their own original animation now. So I'm not sure what that would do. I can see how they can make the bears no problem and see them walk. But I would really like to see what his animations are to see what other potential ideas. Because imagine this. So that alt I think is cool. I think the idea of him having an objective is pretty cool because, as I said last stream, I really like the idea of having a tertiary objective, and they don't plan on putting it in the lanes. Giving characters a tertiary objective, this does a very good job of that. Um, I think his old alt that he currently has, where he dives up like a rocket, I think that should be like one of his gap closers or something like that. I don't know if that's too easy to use or not, but I just really like that animation. Steven Chandler, what do you guys think about this Boris concept with the baby bears and the objectives to make every ability stronger?
I like the bears because it adds. I like the idea of, I don't know, like having like little companions. A little idea of having little dudes that are along with you that you put into the world. It's kind of like, I don't know, like same thing with like Iggy, the way you like add in turrets. I just like abilities that add things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, and Empty also said that he's a solo laner by default, like that's where he usually is. So dealing damage makes a lot of sense and shouldn't be too hard. Uh, his 5k and link deleted. His 5k and link deleted are a bit harder. Oh, I just got a notification to get. So his ability 3 and ultimate version 2 are a lot harder to get. So that's where it would be more like a late game thing. Especially the Raptor one. That it will be really hard to get. I don't think the tower one will be that hard as ult. But the Raptor one in particular, it's going to be a difficult one to get, yeah. Because, yeah, it's just going to be hard. It's Raptor or Prime. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Or Prime. Even still, it might be really hard to get. But either way, that's not a bad thing. Like, for two out of three of them, two out of four of them to be easy to get. A fourth one you're gonna get as long as the game progresses, and a third one that's a bit more difficult. Yeah, that's good. I actually really agree to that. And if they ever add lane objectives, maybe we can make it a part of that. You can make it the more lane objectives he gets, the more stacks he gets. So let's see what Empti's idea is. So about my Boris concept, about Empti's Boris concept. Boris is supposed to be a solo laner primarily, while fitting in the jungle if need be. This board kit grants the player more control while bringing something new to the game. Boris is all up in your face, and many of his abilities can be used to decrease the distance between you and the enemy. I actually like that. Because instead of having Sevarog has a stun, Grux has a pull, so because Boris doesn't have any even soft CC, I think it'd be really cool if he just had more ways of getting closer, if that makes any sense. Because then that's kind of like he has multiple ways to stay close, even if they're running away. Uh, Boris Kit has a very unique way of rotating through abilities from dealing damage to objectives, heroes, etc. to unlock a different variety of the ability. While your enemies might not know what version of your ability you have unlocked, you'll always be one step in front of them. Ooh. Early on, you'll be looking to deal as much damage as possible, filling up the canisters to unlock abilities variants. If you're having the game of your life, you'll be rewarded with the additional buff on the passive that grants cooldown reduction if you completed each part of the passive, allowing you to rotate through your kit at a faster rate. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I can actually see that, and that makes him more of a skill idea, which is really good. And then Empty's thoughts. Boris is a Paragon unreleased hero, and for that reason I don't care one bit what animations he has from the Paragon assets. Boris should be the new character, express your creativity, and come up with a kit outside the box, new and interesting. Without a doubt, this rework was the most time consuming of the bunch, with a lot of thought behind each ability and each variation. I wanted to make him viable in the solo lane and the jungle, granting him new mechanics to outplay and bring to the game, not allowing enemy heroes to use an escape ability and summoning baby bears with their own hitbox, dealing damage, buffing your hero, blocking pass, and wasting enemy heroes' abilities makes Boris one of the most interesting heroes that you will want to try out. I'm quite sure the numbers I have set up for him make him busted, but I'm also sure that it's very easily manageable to work around it. I strongly believe that Boris's kit should show new stuff with the utmost of creativity and thought process. I've spent roughly 2 hours on this rework, and I'm sure that if someone picks up on this, it can only get better. I want to see the first hero who had no kit released by Epic shine, and the only reason behind that is thanks to the Paragon community input. I 100% agree. Empty. Boris is basically Strange Matter's golden opportunity to create their own hero. They have every opportunity to literally say, this is our first original hero, essentially. And so I really like that idea where you're going with. I think it's that. I know they might say, look, it's a bit hard. I want to use the animations how I can, but I really do think that's a good idea. Um, yeah, and I just think that'd be awesome. And I can see you put a lot of time into it, and this is essentially where Strange Matter can flex their muscles and really show what they got for heroes, right? But at the moment, we both know that Boris sucks. Did you read all the reworks? Yeah.